Hi, Rene Bastarache here with the American School of Hypnosis. Just recently, I received a question, or should I say concern, from one of our viewers that she had conducted a single session, hypnosis session on a client for weight loss and called a few days later to check up on her, and the client felt that it didn't work, that she wasn't hypnotized. Now, of course, this can be very concerning for a hypnotherapist. So she said, what did I do wrong? What should I have done? And that's what I'm going to address in this video. I'm going to explain to you why the traditional single hypnosis session from the past doesn't work very well, what you can do to enhance it in case you still have to do those, and an alternative that is extremely successful that you should be considering now. You know, about 25 years ago, we were still doing the single session hypnosis session process, just like all the other schools are doing today. However, we found the same problems, that the success rate was very low, that people were calling in probably a week later saying they don't think they were hypnotized, or it's not working, or they're smoking again, or they're gaining weight. So all these problems we faced, and we didn't know what to do other than have them come back in and do another session. But there's a reason. We found out through years of research that there's a reason that happens. There's ways that you can eliminate that. But even back then, when we did the single session process, just in case the client called back and felt they weren't hypnotized, we had what we called a post-hypnotic worksheet, which we still offer in our courses today, in case you have to do the single session, where you would question the client after the session to see what they experienced. Now, after the session, people always feel they're hypnotized because they were. So we asked them questions about their session. Did you feel this? Did you feel that? Did you notice this? Did you notice that? And we took notes. So now if they call back 3 days or 5 days later and said, I don't think I was hypnotized, we can go back to the sheet and say, remember when you felt this? Remember when you felt that? Do you remember doing this or experiencing this? And they're like, wow, yeah, I was. So they realized that it did work, and they would come back in. Now, the thing to realize is that hypnosis is the art of delivering suggestion. So if you are a qualified hypnotist and you did your process right, the way you were taught, you delivered the suggestions, you did your job. It's kind of like having a gym membership. They supply the machinery, they supply trainers, but if the client doesn't lift the weights, doesn't show up, or doesn't do their effort, you can't guarantee their success. You can only give them the tools that they need. And as a hypnotherapist, we're doing the same thing. We're giving the client the proper tool that they need. It's a helpmate. It's not a magic spell, okay? We help the client to succeed by giving them the suggestions. If you did it properly, and unless they were la, 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 and resisting your suggestions, you gave it your 100%. You could only give it 100%. Now they need to accept the suggestions. They need to give it 100% effort on their side. Remember, we're helping you. We're not making you do something, because you can't make anybody do anything with hypnosis. You've probably heard that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. We're leading you to water. It's right there. Are you ready to quit? Because if you're not ready to quit smoking, if you're not ready to lose weight, you're not going to. There has to be a desire. That's one of the biggest points in trying to improve. So, let's get back to the single session. You can do the intake sheet and kind of review those questions with them when they call back in. So that's how to handle that. Now, there's also another thing you can do with a single session if you absolutely have to. We'll talk about that a little later in this video. Now, through research, we realize how low the success rate is of a single session. So through learning as much as we could, we developed the 30 Days for Change Habit Replacement Program. Now notice I said habit replacement program, okay? We as humans are creatures of habit. We create habits. Virtually everything you do, you created a habit to do it. Look at the alphabet. Reciting the alphabet, that's a habit. I say recite the alphabet, you could probably recite it in just a few seconds. Matter of fact, here's a test for you to show how it's a developed habit. Right now, recite the alphabet as quickly as you can, okay? You can make it a song, however, as quickly as you can. Ready? Go. 1. Okay, I said 10 seconds. You're probably finished by now. Now, just to show how it's a habit, I'm going to have you recite the alphabet again, out loud if you would, okay? But this time, I want you to recite only every other letter. Ready? Go. You're probably not even finished yet. The reason being, when I said recite every other letter, you haven't done that all your life. You haven't created a habit of doing every other letter. That's something new. You probably went A, B, C, D, E, F. You had to whisper it to be able to get through it. However, you know, if you practice doing that, in a matter of probably a month or even less, you'd be able to do it as quickly as reciting the alphabet once it becomes a habit. What are other habits? Brushing your teeth, okay? Going to work each day. You ever notice how sometimes you're going to work and you're thinking of other things and you weren't even paying attention? Oh, gee, you pulled into work? Or maybe you're going to this grocery store someday and you pulled into work, okay? Because it's such a habit, sometimes you do it without even thinking. Matter of fact, you can brush your teeth while watching television, while doing other things. You can multitask because it's a subconscious habit. So just like anything else, we created habits for gaining weight, for smoking. Okay, the first time somebody smoked, first time they picked up a cigarette, I don't know anybody who enjoyed it. They started coughing and hacking, but they did it again and they did it again and it got more and more favorable. Now they're smoking and they have difficulty quitting. The same thing with eating. You overeat or you eat unhealthy, it becomes a habit. I mean, for those that want to lose weight right now, how long did it take you to gain the weight? Did you gain it in a day? No, chances are it took weeks, months, probably years. You created a habit of it. So to think that you can lose your weight or receive a session, one session with hypnosis, and you're going to lose all that weight is kind of naive, isn't it? The same thing as if you've been smoking for 30 years, to think that you're going to quit smoking with one session is kind of naive, isn't it? Some people can do it. There's always those people that go out and do something once and we're like, wow, I can't believe you did that, okay? But for the average person, it's pretty naive. And that's exactly what I say to my client. How long did it take you to gain that weight? To think that you could lose it in one session is kind of naive. You created a habit of gaining weight. We need to develop a habit of being healthy, of eating the new way. So how long did it take them to do that? So it's important to ask your clients that. Now, through research, we realize that it takes approximately 30 days to create a habit. This is an average. Some people can do it a little quicker. Some people it takes a lot longer. But you will create the habit if they continue doing it. But 30 days of daily repetition creates a habit. So that means you have to do it today, tomorrow, the next day. You need to give them suggestions every single day. Now, is a client going to come see you every day for 30 days? No. So what we suggest you doing is giving them one session a week, let's say 4 sessions, and you give them a follow-up, a short follow-up session, probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes in between to listen to each day, because they're getting the suggestions every single day. Now, through research, we came across this gentleman called Maxwell Maltz, and there's a lot of other research in different areas, but Maxwell's the one I like the best. He's written a book called Cybernetics. But in his research, he talks about a habit like a rubber band, okay? He says in 3 to 5 days, you're going to work out the suggestion. If you're given a suggestion once, In 3 to 5 days, the subconscious mind will work it out or dream it out to where you go back to where you first started. It's kind of like, here's the habit creation, okay? You're given a suggestion, and there's a rubber band, and it's like day 1, you leave. Oh, that worked great. Day 2, oh, I'm still doing great. Day 3, oh, I don't know, it's kind of hard. Day 4, you snap right back to where you originally were. He calls it the snapping back effect, okay? You start to go. Some people can make it very few, but ultimately you always snap back to who you perceive yourself to be. Because you're saying, I'm overweight, I eat unhealthy, I am unhealthy. You need to start with the habit of, I am healthy. And that's what you do, is you create a habit of being healthy. With one session, in about 3 to 5 days, you still don't identify yourself as a healthy eating person. And that's what you need to do, is you need to identify yourself as what you want to be and create the habit of being it. Another way of explaining it is kind of like if you look at a lawn. Okay, picture a big lawn with a path going through it. Now, this path is the path to gaining weight or eating unhealthy. You walk on this lawn and you're doing it so many days and months and years that you keep on going back and forth on this path, and you wear a path in the grass. So you look at the lawn and you can see that path. Okay, you created a neural pathway, if you want to get into the scientific things, a neural pathway or a habit of eating the way you're eating. Now, instead of going that way on the path, you're trying to create a new path, and that's what you're doing through creating a habit. You're creating a new path going the other way. So now you're going this way. I am healthy, and you're no longer walking down that path of being unhealthy. And throughout repetition, imagine this path getting worn, creating a new neural pathway, and that one, the grass is growing over it, but the rut is still there. What do I mean by that? You're not eliminating the old habit. You could say you're covering it up. You have a new path that you're taking, a new neural pathway, but the old one is still there. That's why it's important to create that habit, and that's why it's important for your client to give it 100%, because they go someplace as soon as 1 month is over and they feel I did it, and they go out someplace like a bar where everyone's smoking and they pick up a cigarette, boom, they fall off the wagon and go right back down that other path. You remember that? You ever heard that, falling off the wagon? That's what happens when you tempt yourself, when you go places where you used to do the old thing. So it's still going to take effort, but it's a helpmate, not a magic spell. So it's really going to help. So that's what you're doing, is you're continually giving a suggestion, self-suggestion for 30 days. The reason why, because if you only go 5 days and you stop within 3 to 5 days, you will snap back to who you perceive yourself to be. You have to go until the habit is created. Minimum of 30 days. That's why we say 4 sessions. If you can do more, that's even better. How long should they do it? Until it happens. Another analogy is creating a habit would be using antibiotics. You have pneumonia, you take antibiotics, and the doctor says this is a, let's say, 15-day prescription. If you don't take it for 15 days, the pneumonia comes back. What happens when you take antibiotics? The very first day, you feel better. So some people will take them for 3 days, and they think they know better, and they stop, and pneumonia comes right back, and they have no idea why. Hypnosis is the same way. When you leave my office the first day, you're going to feel great. I'm a new person. This hypnosis worked. They will feel great. 3 to 5 days, right back off the wagon, just like with antibiotics. You need to have the prescription of the 30-day follow-up, just like you need to take the rest of the antibiotic prescription. So hypnotherapists look at your session as your initial session, or your first sessions as the regular treatment, and the follow-up in between, or for the entire 30 days, that's the prescription that the client has to take on their own. Now, there's always the fear that the client won't do it. That's why it's better to have them come back each week. So that way you can say, did you do it every day this week? Follow-up is very strong. Clients are always a little embarrassed to say, no. Then you can get on their case and say, you got to do it. But explain these things about the antibiotics. Explain these different tools that I just told you to the client, and you're going to see a big difference in the way they understand. Because of course they're going to say, I want to do a hypnosis session. I only want to do one. I don't have a lot of money. Well, that's like you going to your doctor saying, I haven't been able to help myself with this problem, and I want you to do it this way because I don't have a lot of money. The doctor's going to say, yo, I'm the doctor, not you. You've tried it your way. It didn't work. Now let's try it the way it does work, okay? And that's what you're doing as a hypnotherapist. Don't let the person come see you so they can pay you the big bucks because you're the professional and then tell you what to do. You're the professional. You tell them. It's a 30-day program. You're going to come see me for 4 weeks, da-da-da-da-da. And if they insist on the 1 week, well, here's your choices, okay? The best, I guess you could say the most successful process is the 4-week session, whether they come see you for one session, a live session. Now, more is better, but most people can't afford it. And you give them a short daily follow-up in between, okay? That's the best process. I don't know of anyone that I've hypnotized that followed the process that it didn't work because it developed a habit. The ones that didn't work is because, the second week they were feeling so good and they quit. You see what I mean? They stopped their prescription before it was over. But every one of them that followed it all the way through, it worked because they created the habit. Now, if they absolutely won't do that and they say, I could only do one session, and again, I really suggest you don't. But if you do, then you do the one session, do the intake sheet, and give them the 30-day follow-up. Include it in your price. CD, MP3, whatever you're using, and tell them this is a prescription, explain about the antibiotic. Okay, right now you feel great, but in a week is a good chance you could be right back unless you listen to this and you give them the CD or whatever it is so they don't snap back, okay? So, or MP3 link or however you have it. But that would be, I guess, the second day, unless you could have them come for, I know I've had one practitioner in the past that did group sessions. She did like a daily group session, so she could get a lot of smokers or a lot of weight loss people coming at a lesser rate. But again, you'd want to have a lot of clients before you can do that to make it worth your while as well. So number 2 is the one session with the follow-up and the intake sheet. The follow-up's important. Number 3, if you're just going to do the one session, be sure to do the follow-up because, again, with the follow-up, if they call back, you have something to remind them and to protect yourself. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So will they listen to the follow-up? Who knows? My experience is most of them won't. They're going to feel better and they're going to go on their own. And luckily, if they have that strong regimen, maybe it will work for them. So those are the tortures. Those are the choices right out of the hypnosis certification course. So if you'd like to learn more about this and become a hypnotherapist, or if you're already a hypnotist or hypnotherapist and want to learn more updated techniques and how to be more effective with your clients, we have the link below this video where you can go to take our hypnosis certification course. You could take it all at once, or you can do monthly payments and take it over a course of like 10 months. This is one option to be able to pay as you learn if you don't have the money to get started and you're not interested in starting a practice right now. So the link will be below the video. Go ahead down there. You'll see that. Click on it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you think it could help anyone you know, please share it with them and give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. Bye-bye.